Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Man, I know it's dinner time, but we got to push through it. Like he said, my name is Curtis Bethany III. I am your candidate for the North District seat on City Council. I currently serve as Vice Chairman for the Newport News Human Rights Commission. I'm also on the board for the Human Services Advisory Board. I'm a longtime resident of Newport News. I attended both Reservoir Middle and Woodside High School. I have an associate's degree from Thomas Nelson in business administration. I have a bachelor's from Old Dominion as a double major in accounting and finance. After undergrad, I went to work for a nonprofit that focused on neighborhood revitalization. Then after that, I decided to go into the financial service industry, in which I then chose to go back to school. So I'm currently at Liberty University, in which I will obtain my master's in public policy with a concentration in public administration this summer. So I'm excited about that. I decided to run for city council because I want Newport News to transform into a vibrant urban place where everyone can truly work, live, and play. And I truly believe that I'm the best candidate because I have the relevant experience being a millennial to help the city move forward and to keep pace with the modern times, and also because I have the passion for the city. So with that being said, my team and I, we've built a campaign around public safety and rebuilding broken communities, continuing to build a strong education system, rebranding Newport News, and building collaborative relationships. So I'm so grateful for everyone to come out tonight, and I look forward to expounding upon that as the night progresses. So thank you so much.
All right, sir, thank you. Next, we'll be hearing from Ms. Sharon P. Scott, City Council for the North District of Newport News.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon Scott. I am the councilwoman for the North District of the City of Newport News. I have been your advocate and representative for the past 16 years. It has been truly an honor and a pleasure to have my hands on the pulse of the community. We have accomplished so much over the years with the different councils that I've worked with. And we've been able to increase our economic engine here in the city so that we don't have to pass a tax liability on to our citizens. We've been able to revamp how we do things in the city as far as our budget and making sure that there is no waste. And we have, over my tenure, we have the jewel of the North, which is the North District Denby Community Center, and in 2020 we're slated to get the swimming pool that we advocated for in 2005 that was supposed to have been in the first plan. We have completed a lot of revitalization efforts. We have community maintenance to keep our cities streets clean, and we have so many different groups and organizations in the city that have helped undergird all the activities that the citizens need here in the city. I was the first person to start a town hall meeting in this city that has lasted for 16 years. And I started a town hall meeting not because I didn't have anything else to do, but because I needed to be able to connect with the citizens who I'm supposed to represent. And I am just so proud and I'm humbled to know that people have supported the North District Town Hall meeting for 16 years and it's still going strong. And in that meeting we exchange information. They tell me what's going on in the community, and I have an opportunity to tell them what's going on in our district, and not only our district but across the city. I'm engaged in the community. I try to do some things that fit the need. I host a job fair every year for the past 5 years, a food drive for the past 16 years. I've done back to school supplies for our kids in the summer for the disadvantaged families for the last 14 years. I started out with Field of Friends, and some of you will remember who they are. And I just continue to listen to the citizens and see what it is that they need. And they are still saying we need a pool in Denby Community Center, because Denby, the North District, is the only part of the city that does not have a public pool. And everyone knows that. I'm told when you take your babies to the pediatrician, they want to know if they can swim. So we cannot take away the opportunity for our babies to learn to swim in the North District of Newport News and across the city. So there is so much more that we can do, and my slogan of One City, One Vision started in 2010 with that campaign, and it has resonated across the city. Now everybody's talking about one city, but we still have to work on that one vision. We are not equally, there's not a balance of the resources across the city, and in the next 4 years I have a plan So I look forward to talking more with you as the night progresses. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next candidate is for Newport News City Council Central District, Cheryl Q. Penny.
Good evening. Thank you, Andrew Shannon, for inviting me here. It's been an honor and a pleasure. My name is Cheryl Penny. I'm running for the Central District for the City Council. I've lived in the City of Newport News all my life. I've worked for the City of Newport News for 44 years, and I am the Chief Deputy Clerk for the Circuit Court for the City of Newport News. So on a daily basis, I work with the community. I help the community on many different levels. My husband is retired from the Newport News Police Department, so our life has been vested here in Newport News. Our love for Newport News is right here, and we want what's best for Newport News, not only for the city as a whole, but also on our education level as well. We want to see our public safety to be better served. We need to raise their pay scale quite a bit in order to keep our police officers here, because they are leaving at a rapid rate. The education, we do need to raise the salaries for the teachers, there's no doubt on that. But as city council member, I believe with my years of experience, my longevity of living and paying taxes in this city, I believe that I would be the best candidate for the Central District for the City of Newport News. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll hear from Mr. Dave Jenkins from City Council, or candidate for City Council Central District of Newport News for us.
Hi, I'm the fourth generation of my family to call Newport News home. My great-grandfather opened his first grocery store down on 18th Street in the 1880s. I grew up in the Hydenwood area here and attended the College of William & Mary, where I graduated in 1982. After graduation, I went into the Army. I was a Medical Service Corps officer, and after Desert Storm, I got out of the military, and I had a career in business. Most of that career was working for a home builder, building homes, and helping families. I returned to this area about 5 years ago when my mom started having medical issues. I wasn't expecting to retire at that point, but I did, to spend some time with her. And since then, she's been doing extremely well. And I'm looking for a way to get back to my hometown. Last year, I went out to meetings with the Riverview Farm Park organization, and I learned that we had a terrible problem there, where our government was not listening to the people. And I really believe that we need new leaders in our city government. And you know, I went out and I supported the teachers too when they were asking for a raise last year. And again, I saw the same thing where people were mobilized and they wanted to see change and they wanted to see Newport News improve. And yet our government ignored what they wanted to do. And you know, I began reading about my hometown and I found out that 16% of the people in Newport News live at or below the poverty level. And that 60% of our kids in schools need public assistance for school lunches. And you know, with my business background, I believe we can do better. I believe we can attract the right businesses here. I believe we can help people start their own companies, and we'll have great economic success. And you know, I began to hear about crime here in Newport News. I heard about crime in areas you never heard about crime in before. And I realized that we had a community problem. Well, you know, when I was in the military, one of my jobs I was very honored to have was to be a company commander. I commanded young kids just out of basic training, learning to be medics, and I commanded over 5,000 in the little over 2-year period that I was in that job. But one of the unpleasant parts of that job was sometimes that forced me to work with military police and law enforcement. I came to appreciate an appreciation of what they did, and I know that they have a tough job. But I believe through community policing here in Newport News, we can turn around our crime problem, and we can make this city a great city. We can look forward to a great future here. I'm running to make that happen, and I believe I'm the most qualified person. And I look forward to working with the city employees who've been on the job a lot longer than I will have been, learning from them and working together with them and the other council members to solve the city's problems and bring us together and start working with the school board again. Thank you.
All right. Our next candidate, Greg C. Roth, running for the City Council Central District. Mr. Roth is here, okay. David K. Reed. Thank you, sir. Mr. Reed, running for the City Council at Central District. We'd like to hear from you this evening, sir.
Sure. First of all, thank you, Ms. Shannon, and thank you to the SCLC for having me here tonight. It's really an honor to speak to you all tonight. My name's David Reed. I am a candidate for the Central District seat here on the City Council. I've lived in the city of Newport News for 18 years. I live in Hilton Village. It's been a great city to live in. I've taught in the city for 19 years. I teach at Woodside High School. It's been a great experience in my life to teach at that school. I teach social studies. It's interesting, I was teaching the SCLC today actually in Dr. King, so this kind of actually does a full circle for me as I was telling my students that today. You know, this story for me starts back about a year ago. You know, if you'd asked me a year ago if I'd be running for city council, I would have told you you were crazy, and everybody that knows me would have told you you were crazy. But a year ago, my principal had a faculty meeting, and he asked us to email our council members and just kind of support the teachers and things like that. And I emailed council members, and I understand council is very busy, but I didn't hear back from any of my council members. And that kind of frustrated me. I understand they're busy people. But I went on that and held on to that for a long time, and then about 3.5 months ago, I called the voter registrar and said, what do I have to do? And I got the paperwork, and I said, I want to run. And my purpose here is because I have felt like in my vision of the city of Newport News is that the school system, as a teacher in the system, and not just the teachers, but the custodians, the people who work in the cafeterias, the people who work in the maintenance, everybody has been like a ping pong ball between city council and school board. And that's not all council's fault, that's not all school board's fault, it's a lot of both. And part of that, what I want to really see is I want to see that bridge the gap happen. And what I would like to see that is me being that bridge to kind of communicate from both, not only as a teacher, but also see it from the council side as well. That's really the reason I'm running. I love the city of Newport News, I love the citizens of Newport News, and I love the schools of Newport News. The teachers do a great job here. There's a lot of work to be done. As we were talking about the school board meeting earlier, they were talking about the candidates for school board, and there is a lot that I know that needs to be done. But what I want to be as council is try to help with that. But not only that, I want to help with the idea of attracting more small businesses to the city. I want to help with the idea of preserving parks in the city, not just City Farm Park, but also growing the parks in the Southeast Community and the north part of the city. Councilwoman Scott's point of one city is a great point. We aren't just Central District, we're not just North District, we're not just South District, we're one city all together, and we need to remember that when we come May 1st and vote. And what I really encourage you to do is to get out there and vote May 1st. That's what matters more than anything else. Thank you for having me here tonight.
Thank you, sir, also. Appreciate it. Our next candidate is Angela F. Reason for the City Council Central District of Newport News.
Thank you so much. Thank you, SCLC. Thank you, Shannon, for having us here today. My name is Angela F. Reason for Newport News City Council in the Central District. It was just brought to my attention today that I need to tell people my maiden name because I have been here my entire life. So my maiden name is Angela F. Goodrich. Lifelong resident of Newport News. I attended all Newport News public schools, Hilton Elementary, Crittenden Middle, and Warwick High School. In fact, I was so excited to see one of our security guards today. Basically, I'm just honored to be here, and it's because of Dr. King and the SCLC that I'm able to sit here before you. This is not a prepared speech, but to those who have attended other forums or know me personally, I always speak from my heart. I've spoken over the past few weeks with us having these forums about inclusion, and that's where groups like SCLC is so important. Without people like Dr. King, I would not be able to sit here before you today. I've given parts of my testimony throughout the forums. I'm a graduate of Liberty University with a degree in psychologist, emphasis in Christian counseling. And the reason for that is because I sincerely love and care about people. I'm sitting here before you. I worked at NASA Langley Research Center for almost a decade as a financial analyst and an administrative resource supervisor. Now I am at the shipyard as an administrative journalist. Those are the attributes, knowing budget, knowing business, knowing finance, that I would like to bring into the council. But again, it's because Dr. King had a dream that I was able to ever work at NASA Langley Research Center. I'm looking across in the audience and it's absolutely beautiful. I spoke for weeks about inclusion. That's something that I really stand for. You know, my children are of mixed heritage. My husband is Hispanic and Black. My mother was multiracial. So that's important to me. My family owned one of the first Black-owned businesses, McFadder & Son, in Hampton, but started in Newport News. And his granddaughter, it was my great-grandfather, but my uncle took it over, is actually in the audience. My grandmother, Sarah Goodrich, was a freedom fighter. She worked with Mayor Jesse Radley, one of her best friends. So just caring about the community in general is in my heart. I look forward to speaking more with you all about my platform, but it's important for me to be transparent, which has been my entire platform, and for you all to get to know me as a person, because as a council member, my plan is to know the people that I'm serving, because it's really not about us. It's about the people. It's about all of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Bess. Also, we'll be hearing from Mr. John R. Ely III, candidate for City Council South District.
Yes. Thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Andrew Shannon and the SCLC for allowing us all to come here to express our platform to the citizens of Newport News. My name is John Ely once again. I'm the candidate for South District, Central South District, and I've been a citizen of Newport News all of my life. Newport News is what I know. I was grew up and born in the East End section of Newport News on 18th Street. Growing up as a child in the East End section of Newport News, I was filled with activities. It was so much to do. My mother kept me very busy as a single mom. I was in dance troupe. I was in step team. I played football. I played basketball. I played baseball. Because she said, I'm not losing my son to the streets. I'm going to keep you busy. And that's what she did, kept me busy. As I walked through the community and visit different community centers that kept me such busy as a child, it's not keeping our youth busy anymore. You walk in those same centers, there's nothing going on. And it was brought to my attention with the recent murder we had in our city. The parent came to me and said, Mr. Ely, what is going on? It's nothing for our youth to do. We're losing them to the streets. I said, it's a lot to do. I'm 34 years old. I was just there. I know it's something to do. So I took a stroll through the community centers, and I was disappointed. There was nothing to do. And we wonder why we're losing so many of our young Black brothers and sisters due to gun violence. They want to be a part of something, but they're joining the gangs instead of joining community activities. We must step up. We can continue to build City Center. We can continue to build Tech Center. But if we're not building and preparing for our youth, what are we building for? I want to continue to fight for the citizens of Newport News. I want to continue to fight for my community, and I'm going to continue to fight for all of you. Newport News is a great city. I love Newport News. My background is in the entertainment industry. Before I get on the school board, I was traveling, living a life. But I said, you know what? What am I doing? What am I doing for my community? You must give back. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm on the school board for Newport News. I love being on the school board. But I think I'll be more effective on city council, even with bridging that gap with city council and the school board. It hurts my heart to see two bodies that the community look up to going back and forth. Like so many say, ping pong. That should not happen. We're supposed to be leaders of the city, and people should look up to us. And we have to remember, it's not about us. It's about the citizens of Newport News. Thank you. Vote John Ely, May the 1st.
All right. Our next candidate, LaTanya A. Wallace, candidate running for Newport News City Council South District.
Good evening. Thank you, Andrew Shannon and the SCLC, for providing this platform, this candidate forum this evening. Accessible, accountable, actionable, and responsive. That's what I'm running on. The reason why I desire to run is because I've been living in Newport News for over 20 years. I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 2 beautiful children that attend Newport News Public Schools, but I'm also a community activist. I'm a community organizer, and I'm boots on the ground. I've been working in the community, mentoring young people and parents alike, introducing them to entrepreneurship, introducing them to more opportunities for civic engagement, training on how to advocate on your own behalf and leverage your voice. I am a representative of the South District. I live in the South District one of the most vulnerable, underserved districts in Newport News. So to make it one city, one future, I work outside and I perform what is called regionalism, meaning I partner with other organizations. I am a high school graduate. I don't have a degree from a university, but I have a degree in relationship building. I meet people where they're at. And once I identify where you're at, I tap into your potential, I pull it out, and I empower the citizens. Once you empower people, then you can get into the solutions. My platform is to conquer and increase public safety, increase economic opportunity, and increase environmental resiliency. In order to do all that, you have to have a foundation of education. So yes, I do support fully funding Newport News public schools, and that's with at least 30% or more of the capital investment plan budget, and not only to provide raises to the staff, but to also fund the programs that's desperately needed for our students. And not just our students, but for our PTAs so they can empower our parents and get them more engaged and activated. Living in the South as well, I do work with citizen-led initiatives. Like Dr. King died to gun violence. My fiance in 2003 was killed and he passed away to gun violence. My daughter, my oldest daughter, was 1 at the time. By the time she turned 4 in 2006, I noticed that I needed to do something to fill that void. So what I did was create a community outreach organization that empowers young people, but not only young people, but the community alike, and that's called the Abu Unity Foundation. And what we do is create the change that we need. We don't only identify the issues, but we bring the solutions to the table. Again, my name is LaTanya Wallace. I am running for City Council in the South District, and I'm looking for you to do the right thing and vote the people's voice into the council on May 1st.
Can you repeat the name of your organization?
Abu, A as in apple, B as in boy, U, Unity Foundation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.